Everybody, welcome back. And it's SHTF Survival. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, and as you can see, now can we get this on the frame? Let's see here. This is pretty good sized box this month. However, came retaped, so that's how I got it. So hopefully it's intact. Again, I don't know. All right, for those of you that don't know, SHTF Survival, there's 3 different levels. You have your let me get this right this time. You have your primary, your pro, and your elite. Your primary goes for $19.99 plus shipping and handling, and you get like 5 items. Then you have your pro, it goes for $49.99, and you get like 2 more items, a little bit more higher priced items. And then finally the elite box, which is the top tier, which is what we have. It's $89.99, and you get 9 items, and your last 2 will be, usually they're more high-end items. So yeah, all right, let's see what we got this month. And we are using this Smith & Wesson stonewash knife we got from our gear pack. This might be one of the best folding knives I've gotten out of any of these boxes. This one's really heavy duty. It's really nice. I know it's Smith & Wesson, so it's not an awesome knife. When we do start getting barrel and blade, we'll probably get a lot better quality knives, but this one's not too bad. All right, that should be the top. So normally they put the card on the bottom. So let's see what we got here. This is a pretty good sized box. Doesn't mean much. Some of the small boxes have good stuff, but overall this year's been a pretty solid year for. All right, let's see here. All right. Okay. All right. A little bit of okay. All right, well, we're going to start with the primary box. Again, $19.99. And the retail value for this box they're claiming is $49.91. Now again, retail value, that's MSRP. That's what you would pay for this stuff if you were to walk into a store and buy it, or if you were to order by itself. So not in this particular set right here. And we have got looks like a couple duplicates, several duplicates, but it is what it is. All right, first up, we're gonna go with, for $14.98, we got a gas camping stove. All right, so let's see here. All right. That's a pretty good size one. You can put your butane in here. Click your butane in. You have your, you're on and out your control valve, and then there's a little sparker, and I can see the spark going. So I have something similar to this. Oh, okay, actually this one has little legs here. It's a nice little setup. $14.90 from $14.98 is not too bad for. I think I paid about that for one at Big Five. This is a little bit bulkier, but I think that it has a better base and a better stand for your pot. So I don't know if I have the right type of butane for this. We'll check it out, and we'll ensure that that works. That's pretty nice. That's a nice little, the ability to boil water cannot be. Solidly constructed of brass, aluminum, steel, easy to use automatic electric ignition switch, compatible with standard butane propane cans, fold out serrated spot supports, waterproof nylon carrying pouch, 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches by 3 7/10 of an inch. That's a pretty nice one. And again, boiling water cannot be, it's so important. So important. And this, whereas I would never say that this should be your primary means, but if you say you're in an environment where it's extremely wet and you have to get some water going, or you have to get heat, this is it's a good little tool to have. Again, maybe not necessarily use it as your primary source, but let's say that everything around you is so wet that you don't have much of a choice, then that's a good way to get even like your wet stuff going. So, all right, next up we have. Yeah, for $9.98, which is way overpriced, but these are good items to have. But these are definitely not $9.98 value. These ones here are really, really cheap. I've gotten a couple of these. They're good items, but you can get much better items for this price. So, and these are just the. Yeah. The pancake. It operates while you're taking it, and you charge the battery, and then you just turn it on. And these are good to have in blackout kits and stuff. They don't require batteries, so which makes it nice. Pretty cheap plastic. I definitely would not want to have to rely solely on this, but it's a good item to have, especially in a blackout kit, because the lights go out. You don't need batteries for this, so you don't have to worry about the batteries like going bad and leaking out into your flashlight and ruining it. You don't have, and then that way, if you do, okay, well now it's like you don't have to take it apart and take the paper out, so you can put your batteries in and get them to work. So that's not too bad. I mean, it's an okay. These ones are probably a little bit better, like the ones with the hand crank with radios. These ones are a little bit better, and usually they're not charged. I gotta charge it, but these ones here, they usually have brighter light, and but again, they do have a battery in them. So it's a good item to have, especially if you need it for a blackout kit. Oh, I'm sorry, it's $4.98, not 9. Okay, $4.98. Yeah, $4.98. Yeah, that's not a bad price for that. Three LED dynamo flashlight for $5. That's okay. I thought it was $9.98. That's the next one. All right, next up we have. And that's the other thing. We gotta make sure everything's in here, because, like I said, the box came. I don't know who retaped it, but I'm sure it's gonna be this for $9.98. It is our utility knife. Let's see what we got. I'll be honest, this one's gonna be hard to beat until I'm sure Barrel and Blade will do it, but oh yeah, this is literally what they say it is. I'm not really too stoked about this one, but this one might be good for work, but basically it is. Shit don't even work. Oh, there we go. It is quite literally a utility knife. And it comes with a couple extra razor blades. This, I mean, I guess it'll be good for opening up our boxes as they come in. And it looks like the screw there, you just unscrew it, and then you slide the blade in, and then you put it back in. It does have a rope cutter section right there. That's kind of nice. I guess it's not too bad. You put that as like, hey, it's got a carabiner, of course, you know. It's not too bad. You could like have that. You could have that hanging, and you could just use it as for the rope cutter. It's not too bad, I guess. But it's a utility knife. It's small enough. You know, it wouldn't be too bad. You could like, if you use that in like one of like an Altoids kit or something, because it's kind of bulky, but it is still flat enough that it's useful. They're saying $9.98. Maybe, I don't know. All right, next up we got, and I got a couple of these hanging up over there anyway. I actually gave a couple of these to my daughter because she needed them for when she went on a trip. But here we got a 6-pack of aluminum. It says here 5-pack, but this one says 6-pack. So how many's in here? It is in fact 6. A 6-pack aluminum carabiner set, $4.98. Carabiners are useful. Use them for all kinds of things. I don't know. You might. I don't know. Carabiner is one of those things that, like, almost like bungee cords. It's like, I don't think you can ever have too many. I mean, you can, but I mean, those are one of those things that, you know, if you have 20 of them, you can find uses for them. So, not too bad. And then last but not least, in our basic box, oh, yeah, $4.98. Yeah, $5 for 6 aluminum carabiners. That's not bad. And last but not least, we got this yet again. Our 10-pack steel 10 stakes. Comes with 4 pieces of rope, 10-foot nylon ropes. Useful, especially if you got. They're kind of heavy, but those are useful, especially if you have to set up shelters. So that's all right. Put this away. All right, so that's your primary box. So for $19.99 plus shipping and handling, that's what you would have gotten. The camp stove, the dynamo flashlight, good item. Utility knife, the carabiner set, and the 10 stakes. Now the carabiner set and the 10 stakes, those are duplicates, but they're not. If you're gonna get duplicates, those are kind of okay ones to get because they're really useful. And you know, the 10 stakes, I bought a pack of those 10 stakes at Harbor Freight for about $10 with like no ropes. So it's not a bad item. I think we've gotten that 3 times now. So I'll double check. If that is in fact our third one, that may go into the giveaway. I'm not real sure. It's a good item to have though. All right. Next up, we have a fireproof valuables bag. This is your first one in your Pro Box for $14.99. Now, okay, so basically the Pro Box is $49.99. They're saying the July retail value is $70.88, so it doesn't go up too much. This is not a high price month, but that's okay. But for $14.99, fireproof valuables bag. So this might be something interesting to test out because, and the reason that I say that is because this is something that, if it does in fact work, it's extremely useful. However, since it does have a zipper on the top, and it does look like it goes all the way, This is something that, if it is useful, you can put like important documents in here, and then if there's a fire, they're safe. But if it doesn't work, then you've lost everything. So this is something that I feel we're going to have to test out. We're not going to put important documents in there, but we'll put documents in there. And we're going to start ourselves a bonfire. We're going to throw this in, let it sit for about, how long is a fire? If there's something that's burning, how long is it going to burn? 20, 30 minutes? We'll throw this in, and we're going to see if this is truly a fireproof bag. Because it doesn't say how long or anything. So I think that's something interesting that we can test out. Because if it does what it does, if it really does what it does, this might be one of the best things in any of the boxes you've gotten. Because, you put like Social Security cards, your birth certificates, your important documents in there to protect them for a real, catastrophe. We'll have to see. All right. Put everything on top of the card. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right. Coming in next, we have, oh, yes. We have our multi-function paracord bracelet for $5.98. Whistle compass, tiny ferro rod, paracord. Looks like it's a pretty good chunk of paracord. These things are gimmicky. Yeah, they're cool to have. They're cool and edgy to have, of course, but and yeah, that paracord would definitely be useful if you need it. The compass is just a small button compass, good for dead reckoning, but you can do that with the sun if you know what you're doing. Still not a bad item to have, but the whistle, if you are lost and you get injured, it's a good way. We'll test that whistle outside. The ferro rod, those tiny ferro rods work, but they're really tricky. That to get sparks hot enough, they're kind of tricky. But $6. So your pro box is like pretty much $21 added. So anyway. All right, next up, and this is where we get into our duplicates, but that's actually okay because I think this one here actually completes what I need for my immediate family in the house, and it is the camping hammock OD green. And so this one here, this is my 4th one I've gotten in the last 2 years. 3 from SHTF, 1 from a Pocket Box. And yeah, it's a duplicate. It's a $29.98, but in the immediate household, there's 4 people, 4 hammocks, so that's good. Because, again, as I've said, I can't just prepare for myself, I got to prepare for my whole family. And so now we all have a hammock, so if we did have to leave, at least we can get off the ground and get up there and get some sleep if we need to. All right. Oh yeah, and so $89.99 for the Elite Box, and the retail value is $138.84. And then next up, we have our last item, and the main reason this box is so big is for $37.98. We have from Totem Pack Company. It says lightweight bivy sack blue. So, and everything was here. So maybe they repackaged it at the plant. Maybe they forgot something. It's happened before. 1 month when I got it, I only had the belt fan. I opened the box and all I had in it was this, and I thought, oh, what is this? So, and yep, it is. It looks like it might be a sleeping bag type thing, a bivy sack. So we'll check that out and we'll get that opened up. So basically, yep, another one from Totem Pack Company right there. And it might be, it says bivy sack, but I think that it might be a sleeping bag or something that will function as a sleeping bag, which is awesome because that will give me enough for immediate household to have a sleeping bag for everybody. All right, so this is pretty cool. All right, and so there you are. So your primary box, we got the gas camping stove for $14.98. We got the LED dynamo flashlight for $4.98. The utility knife for $9.98. The carabiner set, it says 5-pack, but it's a 6-pack for $4.98. And then the 10 steaks for $14.99. I think, with the exception of the utility knife, I think everything is appropriately priced on that list. I mean, yeah, you can. I'm sure you can find some for a little bit cheaper, but if they do that, but if they work, I think that the prices you pay there are going to be comparable to what you would pay anywhere else. So I don't think that's too outrageous there. If they work, right? We got to give them a test out here. And then the Pro Box, the retail value $70.88, and you would have added the fireproof bag. And if that works, that's a really good item because, let's be honest, when you are talking about SHTF situations, a fire is a very real one, a very real threat that we could face at any point in time. And so the ability to keep your valuables safe, like all real seriousness, I mean, fires happen all the time. And so that's super important. That's a good thing. Put your documents in there, put them in, maybe even inside a fireproof safe just in case, you never know. So, because it says fireproof, it does not say waterproof. So, but we'll give it a try here. Then the paracord bracelet, it's kind of a nothing burger. And then you also get, you got a whole sleeping system because you got the hammock and the bivy sack. So you hang your hammock, you put your bivy sack inside your hammock to stay warm. So pretty much this month, you got like the whole sleeping system. Let me just check something here real fast. Let me see here. I just want to check something here. All right, so beanies, outdoor blanket, X, sleeping bag, hammock. Yeah, so this is like the second hammock this year. So yeah, and a sleeping bag. Bushmaster kettle, sea starter, floating shell, waterproof tarp. Yeah, okay, so this is essentially, kind of the same as another box we got earlier this year because we got a hammock and a sleeping bag in a previous box. We got a hammock and a bivy sack, a sleeping bag in this box. So but I think if you're going to get duplicates, at least they're kind of like the useful duplicates that, unless you're by yourself, are going to be useful. So not too bad. I think that this month is actually a pretty decent month. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, hey, if this is your first time on the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. If you are subscribed, do me a favor, just hit that thumbs up. It really helps out. Gets the video pushed out to more people. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And hey, until next time, keep prepping. Right before I run these prices at the end of the video, I just want to point something out. If you look at the prices and the prices that came in on the card that I stated, almost every single one of them is cheaper
than what they normally charge. So with that being said, our actual MSRP was a little bit higher this month. It's like if you look at those dynamos, you can't buy them by one. You buy 3 of them for $20. Well, 3 of them in the box is only $15, right? So that's cheaper. So we're saving a little bit of money on those prices. So they are a little bit lower than what they normally sell them for on top of it. The more you know.